Well, Florida fans, we got us a commit. Florida Gators add another impressive high school recruit to their already top three recruiting class per 24/7. The Gators add LJ McCray out of Mainland High School in Daytona Beach, Florida. The Florida Gators have long had um, Daytona Beach Mainland five-star defensive lineman LJ McCray as one of their top targets of the 2024 recruiting cycle. The Gators have been relentless in their pursuit of the elite defender since the page turned to the 2024 class being the focus of the staff. And it kind of makes sense when you think about it, how well their class is this year compared to last year. Not that the last year's class was good, but I guess being that, 2024 was going to be a class where they had a full year under their belt as opposed to 2023 when they were just getting used to moving to Gainesville and whatnot and being in the SEC outside of Corey Raymond, of course. But it's not really surprising that the 2024 class appears to be the best considering the effort that they put in since they came to Florida originally. Talking about the staff, of course. Those efforts paid off big time on Saturday when McCray committed to the Orange and Blue over finalists, another Orange and Blue school, Auburn, that team in Tallahassee, Georgia, and the Miami Tropical Depression Hurricanes. McCray is now the top rated commitment in the Gators 2024 class per 24/7 Sports. This was someone that Florida has viewed as a can't miss recruit and was a tough battle down the stretch. McCray has not been one to give up too much information about the inner workings of his recruitment, but represented a pleasant surprise for the Gator staff when they learned they were the pick on Saturday. Florida staff has gotten McCray on campus multiple times over the course of his recruitment, which gave a strong level of comfort between he and the school. Florida's defense is young, but has taken strides under first-year defensive coordinator Austin Armstrong, and with the talent that they keep adding to this defense, with the defensive line class that they had last year, and the class that they had in the secondary, and the linebacker class that they have this year, and the defensive classes, which is starting to get better and better. Mind you, Florida is still going after Makai Boyle, who was committed to Florida, then decommitted. So if Florida can add him to the bunch with to go with already, and then Maris Williams and LJ McCray, Florida's going to have Florida. They already have one of the best defensive classes in classes in terms of defensive players in the nation. So adding Makai Boyle would be phenomenal. The young coordinator joined Florida staff back in the spring and immediately got to work recruiting the 6'6", 260-pounder. And for a high school football player to be that big already, to weigh that much in high school, I mean, the height thing, it is what it is, but to weigh that much, he doesn't have to put on too much muscle when he comes in there. He'll probably cut more fat and be a little bit leaner than he already is, but uh, he's already coming in at the perfect size to play defensive lineman in the SEC. Florida's planning to keep stockpiling elite talent to the roster and have long felt that McCray is the perfect fit to help them keep the trajectory they want to attain. And it's a pretty impressive trajectory that they are attaining. Sorry about that. A little pause. I'm also watching Tennessee and Alabama while I'm recording this. They are saying I can come in and be a part of something special, especially with Coach Armstrong. McCray told Swamp 24/7 earlier this month, the things that they've been doing with the top rated defense can only get better with a guy like me. They just always tell me how they need a guy like me, how they want to use me depending on how I would look when I get there if I did go there. They want me to use between the edge and defensive line, but mainly defensive line. Well, it kind of makes sense for him to play defensive line considering Florida has already kind of is kind of like stockpiling talent at the edge rushing position. TJ Searcy and Kelby Collins, and they're adding Aaron Childs, which is probably going to play edge as well to go with probably some transfer portal additions that they're going to plan on making, and Amaris Williams. So should be a pretty good fit for him. Florida now sits at 22 commits with the addition of McCray, and there you go. You see all the recruits that they have. Um, LJ McCray, if you had to ask me right now, of all the favorite commits that Florida has right now, I will probably say no in no particular order of my top four favorite commits of this class. Lagway, of course, Xavier Filsaime, and Darius Hayes, and I think you can now add LJ to that mix. So this is Florida has one of the best. Florida it might just be competing with Georgia for the best defensive class in the nation. And Florida's not done. They're still going after Xavier Mincy, who is a teammate of LJ McCray, uh, who played with him at Mainland High School. And Florida's still going for with Michael Mackay Boyle. Like I said, I don't know how Florida's standing with Jeremiah Smith, but I don't think it's likely that he's coming here. I did hear that Florida was still going for in-state defensive back who's committed to Alabama, Jameer Grimsley. So interesting to see where that is. But Florida, Billy Napier, man, I said I needed to see signs that Florida was on the up and up with him as the head coach. And so far, he's doing that this year. He's 5-2, heading currently right now. The Gators are on a bye week. He's 5-2 right now, and he's got 5 games coming back. I mean, if he could finish strong, it would really solidify to the recruits that you know what, hey, we're in the rebuilding process right now, but look how good we're doing already. We're already 5-2. We might actually get a couple of wins out before we get to a couple of more wins before we get to a bye game. So to have an 8-win season after the way things ended last year, and you keep stockpiling recruits like this, you know, it's going to look real good for Napier and the staff and for the program. And by the way, before I end this video, I just want to say thank you to all the haters and trolls out there because y'all spent this entire spring and summer talking about how Florida's recruiting class was going to fall apart because Florida was going to go 3-9, Florida was going to go 4-8, Florida was going to go 5-7, Florida was probably wasn't even going to make a bowl game. Florida at best was going to be a 6-7 win season. Well, Florida's already at 5 wins, so your three lowest season predictions has already been beaten, and they still got 5 games left to go, and it's gonna be a tough slide toward the rest of the year. I mean, Florida has some tough games coming up, but they're probably gonna beat Arkansas, who lost to a very bad Mississippi State school. So that's another victory right there for Florida. And it's going to be at the Swamp too. So, and then Florida is playing Georgia, who does not have Brock Bowers. They'll be on the road at LSU, but LSU's defense is absolutely terrible. I mean, it's one of the. I mean, Arkansas put up 31 on LSU's defense, and they couldn't even score a touchdown against Mississippi State. So LSU's defense is absolutely terrible. I'm confident Florida can move the ball up and down against LSU, and then you have Florida State, which is going to be a little bit tricky for Florida State, considering the fact that they're going to be on the road in the Swamp with the crowd noise against them. It's going to be by far the toughest road environment that Florida State will have faced this entire year. And for some reason this year, it seems like Florida is getting is proverbially in terms of football analogies is getting the ball bouncing in their favor a little bit more this season. So, thank you to all the haters and trolls. Your constant nagging on Florida throughout this entire calendar year has been great because Billy Napier, both quietly, in some cases loudly, like Tennessee, and with this recruitment, he's starting to shut y'all up a little bit more. And when Florida gets to be one of the back to being at the top of the mountain in the state, in the Sunshine State, and being one of the top programs in the sport again, I just would like to thank every single one of y'all for the added satisfaction that is gonna come our way when that happens. So Florida Gators had another commit, defensive lineman LJ McCray. I guess somebody knows what he's doing.